During the Cold War, Finland found itself in a difficult geopolitical position, sharing a long border with the Soviet Union, one of the world's most powerful military powers. Rather than trying to match the USSR militarily, Finland pursued a strategy of neutrality, backed by a robust but relatively modest national defense. This policy, later termed Finlandization, allowed Finland to maintain its sovereignty and democratic system by avoiding overt provocations while leveraging geography and diplomacy. Though not an exact parallel, this historical model provides a framework for understanding the Philippines' current position in the South China Sea, a region increasingly defined by great power rivalry and military brinkmanship. Like Finland, the Philippines is a smaller state contending with the presence of a much larger and more powerful neighbor, China. The Philippines cannot match China's military might outright, but it can, and is, investing in credible deterrence. A pivotal moment came with the United States' approval of a $5.58 billion sale of 20 F-16 fighter jets to the Philippines. These aircraft, equipped with advanced radars, precision-guided munitions, and modern electronic warfare systems, represent far more than just hardware. They mark a leap in the country's defense posture, signaling that the Philippines is no longer content to be a passive actor in growing tensions in the region. The South China Sea, claimed almost entirely by China through its expansive and controversial 9-dash line, has become a hotbed of confrontation. Filipino fishermen are harassed, Coast Guard vessels face dangerous maneuvers, and China's artificial islands bristle with weapons and surveillance systems. In this escalating aggression, the F-16s offer Manila a credible means to monitor, respond to, and deter incursions into its exclusive economic zone. Their advanced sensors and beyond visual range missiles allow the Philippines to contest the air domain for the first time in decades, providing much-needed strategic depth in an increasingly contested maritime theater. Yet, as Finland's experience teaches, hardware alone is not enough. The long-term success of the Philippines in preserving its sovereignty and regional stability will depend on how it balances military modernization with deft diplomacy. Just as Finland avoided direct confrontation with the USSR while strengthening quiet ties with the West, the Philippines must tread carefully, fortifying alliances like the U.S. Mutual Defense Treaty, investing in multi-domain capabilities, and maintaining open diplomatic channels with Beijing.
I am very gratified for your remembrances of even my little part that I played in the opening of relations between China and the Philippines.
The F-16s may strengthen the shield, but it will be careful statecraft that determines whether that shield prevents conflict or invites further escalation. For nearly 2 decades, the Philippine Air Force, PAF, lacked high-performance jets after retiring its last F-5 Freedom fighters in 2005. Relying on FA-50 light fighters, the PAF's air defense capability was limited, leaving the nation vulnerable as China rapidly militarized the South China Sea. Now, a $5.58 billion U.S. arms deal is filling that gap with 16 F-16C and 4 F-16D fighters, the most advanced version of this multi-role aircraft. This is the biggest leap in Philippine air combat capability since World War II, said defense analyst Jose Antonio Custodio. The F-16s come equipped with cutting-edge systems, including the ANAPG-83A-ES A radar for superior detection, the ANA-AQ-33 sniper targeting pods, and the ANALQ-254 Viper Shield electronic warfare system. The deal also includes AM-120, C-7 AMRAAMs for beyond visual range engagements and AIM-9X sidewinders for short-range air combat. This completely shifts the balance, noted Colin Ko, a Singapore-based defense analyst. The Philippines can now track, jam, and engage Chinese aircraft entering its airspace, or EEZ, a major step in deterring aggression. As Defense Secretary Gilbert Teodoro said, "We need these aircraft not to provoke war, but to prevent one." Beyond combat power, the F-16s enhance interoperability with U.S. and allied forces, strengthening the Philippines' role in regional security. The F-16 is not just a fighter jet, it's a message. The Philippines is reclaiming its place in the region's defense dynamics. The arrival of the F-16s transforms the Philippine Air Force from reactive defense to credible deterrence. With advanced AESA radars and precision targeting pods, the F-16 enables real-time surveillance of the vast Philippine exclusive economic zone, including the contested West Philippine Sea. Beyond air combat, the F-16 excels in close air support, CAS, and aerial interdiction, equipped with JDAMs and air-to-ground missiles. Its SEAD, suppression of enemy air defenses, capability, with AGM-88 HARM missiles, allows the Philippines to target enemy radar and missile defense systems, critical against China's fortified islands. Compared to the FA-50, the F-16 offers superior speed, survivability, and beyond visual range capabilities, elevating the PAF to match the region's top air forces. This acquisition isn't happening in isolation. It's a cornerstone of the Philippines' evolving defense doctrine, particularly its comprehensive archipelagic defense concept. Introduced to address modern threats beyond internal insurgencies, the CADC shifts the military's focus toward external defense, especially in the maritime domain. Under this framework, the Philippines aims to secure its over 7,600 islands and the vast maritime territory surrounding them. The F-16, with its longer range, versatility, and interoperability with naval and ground assets, fits this strategy perfectly. These aircraft allow us to defend from the sea, not just from the land. With increased aerial reach and strike options, the F-16s enable faster response to Chinese incursions, bolster patrol missions, and reinforce sovereignty over contested shoals and reefs like Scarborough Shoal and the Spratly Islands. Moreover, their integration into joint training exercises with allies like the US, Japan, and Australia reinforces regional burden sharing and enhances interoperability. Ultimately, the F-16 sale is not just about defense hardware. It's about transforming the Philippines from a reactive player to a proactive stakeholder in maintaining stability and asserting lawful maritime claims in one of the world's most strategic regions.
The United States approves the sale of $5.58 billion in F-16 fighter jets to the Philippines amid rising tensions with China.
The $5.58 billion F-16 fighter jet deal is more than just an arms transfer. It's a signal flare in the evolving military chessboard of the Indo-Pacific. The sale marks a renewed era of strategic convergence between Washington and Manila, reinforcing the U.S. vision for a free and open Indo-Pacific by empowering one of its most critical treaty allies. This arms deal is a message to Beijing. The F-16 acquisition directly complements the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, which expanded from 5 to 9 sites across the Philippine archipelago, most notably in Cagayan and Palawan, both near potential flashpoints with China. Moreover, it adds momentum to Balikatan, now among the largest joint exercises in Southeast Asia, involving over 17,000 troops in 2024. For the U.S., the Philippines is not just a military outpost. It's the geostrategic hinge between the South China Sea and the Western Pacific. The arrival of the F-16s ensures that the PAF can integrate seamlessly into Allied force structures, conduct joint patrols, and project credible power within contested zones. But every sword has two edges. The F-16 deal while defensive in design, could ignite a tit-for-tat escalation in the region. China has already fortified its artificial islands in the South China Sea with long-range missiles, fighter jets, radar arrays, and naval garrisons, particularly on Fiery Cross, Subi, and Mischief Reefs. The Philippine acquisition of F-16s could justify further militarization under the guise of self-defense. Moreover, other Southeast Asian claimants, like Vietnam and Malaysia, may feel pressured to enhance their air power and surveillance assets, contributing to a slow-burning arms competition in a region already fraught with geopolitical tension. One of the most transformative aspects of this acquisition is interoperability, a force multiplier often underestimated. The F-16s are fully compatible with U.S. systems, enabling real-time data sharing, coordinated strike capabilities, and networked defense maneuvers. The PAF will be able to plug and play with U.S. and even Australian or Japanese air assets. These aircraft allow the Philippines to join a networked defense grid across the Indo-Pacific. This makes multilateral operations smoother and joint maritime patrols more credible, enhancing deterrence through presence. While the U.S. officially maintains that the sale will not alter the basic military balance, reality is more nuanced. For the first time in over 2 decades, the Philippines will have beyond visual range, BVR, air superiority, something that could tilt localized scenarios in its favor. The ASA radar allows F-16s to track and engage targets long before adversaries can see them. Combined with AMRAAM air-to-air missiles and precision-guided munitions, these jets could challenge Chinese patrol aircraft and even limit the operational freedom of PLA Navy warships within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. Yet, in the grander picture, China's overwhelming quantitative superiority remains daunting. Over 1,500 combat aircraft, dozens of air bases near the South China Sea, and the world's largest navy by ship count. The F-16s provide a credible deterrent, but they cannot alone shift the broader balance of power. The Philippines' purchase of 20 U.S. F-16 fighter jets for $5.58 billion has ignited intense debate among regional analysts. For some, the move represents a necessary alignment with Washington's Indo-Pacific security framework, ensuring enhanced defense capabilities in the face of rising tensions. Others, however, view the acquisition as a strategic gamble that risks sacrificing Manila's sovereignty by overcommitting to U.S. interests and diminishing its strategic autonomy. Experts warn that the deal could trigger a broader militarization of the South China Sea, with countries like Vietnam and Malaysia potentially ramping up their own defense procurements in response. This could create a volatile cycle of action and reaction, escalating tensions in already fragile flashpoints like the Second Thomas Shoal. Each new acquisition shifts the regional balance, with many concerned that deterrence could evolve into an arms race. While the F-16s undoubtedly enhance the Philippines' defense posture, analysts caution that they could also entrench the country further into U.S. military strategy. The acquisition strengthens the Philippine Air Force's deterrence capabilities, but also risks losing the nation's strategic ambiguity, a valuable asset in navigating the complex geopolitics of the Indo-Pacific. Critics argue that while the F-16s represent a leap forward in air power, the Philippines must be cautious not to overextend itself by becoming too reliant on external alliances. The F-16s will undoubtedly give the Philippines a greater deterrent capacity, but experts point out that China's overwhelming air superiority remains a significant factor. Despite the advanced radar and missile systems of the F-16, China's massive air force and naval strength could still dominate in a prolonged conflict. The hefty price tag of $5.58 billion has raised concerns domestically, with critics questioning whether such a significant investment in defense is the best use of resources. Some argue that the funds might have been better allocated to other pressing needs like cybersecurity, infrastructure, or strengthening the Philippine Coast Guard, which plays a crucial role in securing the country's maritime interests. The cost of the deal has sparked debate over whether the Philippines is truly modernizing its defense or simply buying expensive weaponry without a broader strategic plan. China has already expressed its displeasure, warning that the growing US-Philippines military cooperation should not harm its interests. Beijing is expected to respond with diplomatic pressure, economic pushback, and potentially increased maritime activities in the region. Ultimately, the F-16 deal is more than just a military acquisition. It signals a significant shift in the Philippines' strategic orientation. While it enhances the nation's defense capabilities, it also brings the risk of overdependence and heightened regional tensions. Manila will need to navigate this delicate balance carefully, ensuring that its pursuit of security doesn't inadvertently provoke further instability in an already fragile region. The Philippines' defense trajectory reached a pivotal milestone on April 1, 2025, when the U.S. State Department officially approved the potential sale of 20 F-16 Block 72 fighter jets to the country. Valued at $5.58 billion, this package includes not just state-of-the-art aircraft, but a robust arsenal of 112 AMRAAMs, 40 Sidewinders, precision-guided bombs, and an extensive logistics and training suite, signaling a leap in Philippine air combat capability. The decision follows a strategic visit to Manila by U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who reaffirmed America's unwavering commitment to its alliance with the Philippines in light of escalating tensions in the South China Sea and growing fears over a potential Taiwan Strait crisis.
Our partnership not only continues today, but we are doubling down on that partnership. And our ironclad alliance has never been stronger. This morning, I also had a chance to meet with President Marcos. And Secretary Teodoro and I just had as I described, very productive discussion about how to not just continue, but accelerate the progress in U.S.-Philippines alliance. We agreed on the next steps to reestablish, and that's key, reestablish deterrence in the Indo-Pacific region. These efforts build on an ongoing $500 million commitment in foreign military financing and other security assistance to support the Philippines' military modernization.
The Philippines has reassured Beijing that the F-16 acquisition is defensive in nature and not aimed at any third party. Yet analysts remain skeptical about whether such diplomatic messages can offset the geopolitical ripple effects of the deal. Notably, the sale is embedded within the Philippines' Horizon 3 military modernization program, which envisions acquiring 40 fighter jets in total. The Philippine government is actively seeking flexible financing arrangements, a nod to the economic weight of such an ambitious procurement. The upcoming Balikatan 2025 joint exercises are expected to showcase the growing U.S.-Philippine interoperability, with plans to deploy advanced U.S. missile systems like the Tomahawk and Typhoon. This adds a potent long-range strike capability to the alliance's toolkit and further enhances deterrence in the Indo-Pacific. The F-16 sale signals a shift for the Philippines, transforming it from a security-focused military to a key player in regional deterrence. However, this comes with significant risks. China is likely to respond with aggressive tactics, such as gray zone operations, maritime coercion, or economic pressure. To fully leverage these advanced assets, Manila must invest in training, logistics, and infrastructure. As debates over cost versus security intensify, especially in times of domestic or external crises, the Philippines faces a crucial test. Its future role as a resilient maritime state or a pawn in great power rivalry will depend on how it navigates the challenges ahead. The sale of F-16 fighter jets to the Philippines represents a pivotal step in the country's military modernization, significantly bolstering the Philippine Air Force's ability to protect its interests amid rising Chinese assertiveness in the South China Sea. These jets will enhance the Philippines' deterrence capacity, providing a stronger air force to address both conventional and unconventional threats in contested waters. However, this acquisition comes with potential risks. The increasing regional tensions and the likelihood of a Chinese response are key concerns. China's growing military presence in the South China Sea and its reactions to the shift in Philippine defense posture could escalate instability and fuel an arms race in the region. The F-16's effectiveness in countering China's influence will depend on multiple factors: timely delivery, the Philippines' ability to integrate and sustain the jets, and the broader geopolitical dynamics at play. Simply enhancing air power won't be enough to counter China's formidable multidimensional strength, which includes naval dominance and economic leverage. To navigate these challenges, the Philippines must adopt a balanced approach, strengthening alliances, particularly with the US, and pursuing diplomatic efforts that promote regional stability. A modernized defense, anchored by advanced assets like the F-16s, will be vital to Manila's strategy for managing the complex security environment in the South China Sea.